So Pokemon Go is a thing, and like every other person on the earth, I've been scouring the streets in search of imaginary creatures instead of searching for true happiness or a fulfilling career. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore this game, and I think the social implications are huge. Already, it's helping people go outside, meet friends, get some exercise. It's wonderful. Bringing people together has always been the main idea behind the Pokemon franchise. And now it's happening on a scale that hasn't been seen since the original games were launched back in the 90s. However, I do think that Pokemon Go could do with some improvements. So here's my top 5 list of things that I'd like to see implemented in the future. Number 1. Proper battling. Okay, sure, you can technically battle in the game already, but it's limited to gyms. And let's be honest, it's fairly simplistic. In the future, I'd love to see a slightly more dynamic, more complex battling system, as well as the ability to battle outside of gyms. Right now, the only thing you can do with wild Pokemon is throw your big red balls at them. How about we use our hard-earned Pokemon to weaken them down a little bit, making them easier to catch? And if we defeat that Pokemon, a reward would be nice. Maybe a little bit of Stardust, a candy, even some Poké Coins, depending on how tough the Pokemon was. That way, it would actually feel like we have a team of Pokemon that we're training, and instead of just collecting a horde of faceless rats and bugs. Number 2, player interaction. Pokemon Go is definitely bringing people together, with some of us even going so far as to create local hunting parties in our communities. What? It's giving us more reason to hang out with our friends, and for that I'm immensely grateful. But I'd like to see it taken a bit further. Let's say you're walking down the street, and you see someone tip-tapping away at their phone, but you don't know if they're playing Pokemon. They might be, but you don't know without going up to them and asking, which some of us aren't willing to do. What if you could see an icon on the map of them walking along, and if you tapped it, you could see a profile card telling you who they are, what team they're on, what their favourite Pokemon is. Maybe even some sort of personalised greeting. I think that would be a great idea to see more people talking to each other in the community. Number 3, player battles. For my third suggestion, we should just combine the first two together and let players battle each other. Now, with the mobile nature of the game, maybe limit it to 1v1, although I suppose full 6v6 battles could work as well. But, you know, whatever. I don't think rewarding the winner with items would be a good idea, because I can see two people just sort of battling over and over and intentionally losing to abuse the system, but some sort of record counter would be a good incentive to keep people training to be the very best, like no one ever was. Perhaps there could even be scheduled competitions where the game could tally up the wins for each team over a certain time period, like in the Wii U game, Splatoon. It might not work exactly the same, but it's an interesting idea nonetheless. Number 4. More Pokemon. The developers of the game, Niantic, were very clever to only include the original 150 Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It allows newcomers to not feel overwhelmed at the prospect of having to catch over 700 Pokemon at this point, with even more coming this November. It also appeals to the people who have only really played the original games back in their childhood, and haven't been keeping up as the series has evolved over the past 20 years. Of course, the super nerds like me were always going to play it regardless, but I can still see people growing a little bit bored of catching the same handful of Pokemon over and over again. So why not slowly drip feed us Pokemon from more recent generations? Imagine the excitement someone would feel after catching their 15th Rattata of the day, when they see a Pokemon they've never heard of before. Say a Sentret, a Kricketot, or even a Litleo. It's fairly inevitable that this is going to happen at one point or another. However, I figured it was worth mentioning nevertheless. And finally, number 5. Just make Pokemon real already. Come on, Nintendo. We know you have the money. Just do it. I personally won't be happy until I can go to my local post office, a giant bloody dragon by my side, and fly my own post wherever I need it to go. So just do it! So that was a list of my top 5 things that I'd like to see included in Pokemon Go in the future. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, on my Twitter, @gregamiah, or even make a video of your own if you so fancy. thank you for watching, and I'll see you after I've gone and caught that Pikachu that's just popped up outside. See ya!